covering Colorado first for you. Take a look. Copter 4 is live over this big apartment complex fire. And you can see firefighters are still trying to work this scene as they douse water on top of the building. Smoke is still lingering in the area. This happened to an apartment complex under construction. And this is the second fire we have seen like this one in Denver this spring alone. Fire crews are working it at 19th and Grove, and this isn't too far from Mile High Stadium. If you are waking up in this area, you will likely smell the smoke. Makenzie O'Keefe did rush out to the scene overnight for us around 2 in the morning. Makenzie, what can you tell us at this hour?
Good morning, Britt. Well, in just the last few minutes, Federal did reopen to drivers, so that's definitely good news for people who are heading to work or school. I'm going to take a step off scene so we can show you firefighters are still out here working, and we're really getting a good look at what's left of this charred building. Now I'm going to zoom in just a teeny bit to show you what we're working with this morning. You can see that building back there. There are still 2 crews that are above trying to fight it with water, but for the most part, this fire this morning is looking to be pretty well knocked out. Now, I do want to show you what it looked like overnight last night. Now, fire crews got to the scene around 2 a.m., and when they arrived, these flames out here were just massive. Smoke was billowing into the air, and people even in downtown Denver said they could see the smoke. The fire again began around 2 o'clock, and crews found this apartment complex that is under construction completely up in flames. The good news is there's no report of any injuries at this time, but we do know now that a family who lives just north of here, their home was actually impacted by this fire and they were evacuated. That's because these flames were moving so quickly. Now, the manpower out here involved in putting out this fire was unbelievable. There were over 100 firefighters with 20 different rigs here on scene. They were all working to knock out this fire from every single angle. The biggest concern was just how fast this fire was moving because these buildings were under construction. Again, these flames were so large that people who were driving on I-25 could see it. I spoke to one man who actually pulled over and stopped to see if he could help in any way out here.
Thank goodness. I'm glad to hear it's new construction. It'd be devastating if there's people are losing their stuff. I mean, it's not good that anybody's having a fire like this, but at the same time, it's better than a bunch of people losing everything.
Now, the biggest concern was a lot of these embers were flying all over the area, blocks away, firefighters said. So on top of having to fight this fire, they were having to make sure none of those sparked additional fires. But good news is it looks to be out this morning. Reporting live in Denver, Makenzie O'Keefe, covering Colorado first.
And it will take them several days, if not weeks, to figure out what caused it. Makenzie, thank you so much. We're covering Colorado first for you this morning, and we'll start you off here with a live look from Copter 4, which is hanging here over the sky. You can still see some smoke over this area. Firefighters are still trying to douse water on some hot spots of what was a really huge fire here at an apartment complex that was under construction. Now, this is concerning because it is the second such fire we have seen here in Denver this spring. Fire crews are here at 19th and Grove, and if you live in the area, you will smell the smoke. You'll likely see it if you're not too far from Mile High Stadium. Makenzie O'Keefe is live to show us what happened. I know you were out there since 2 this morning, Makenzie. What is the latest?
Good morning, Britt. Yeah, it's been a long morning for firefighters out here. Actually, the smoke just kind of started up again, and that's because they're working on still putting out this fire. I'm going to move out of the way and show you what's left this morning. Now, we do know that 2 of these buildings did catch fire. This is kind of what the charred remains look like out here. These 2 buildings were under construction when they caught fire, and when the firefighters got out here at 2 a.m., those flames were just massive. So I'd like to show you some of that video of what the scene looked like when I first arrived. Standing 1 block away, I could just feel the heat out there. We were getting reports of people seeing the flames from their apartments in downtown Denver, and some people out in Aurora actually could smell the smoke. Now, the Denver Fire Department said because the fire was moving so quickly, they did have to evacuate a family of 4 who lived just north of this building. They said their home was a little slightly damaged, but luckily nobody was injured in this fire. Now, there were 2 buildings that were under construction that are now a complete loss after this fire tore through them. Now, they don't believe that anyone was inside of those buildings that were under construction. That's the good news. The area here had firefighters worried. There was over 100 firefighters on scene, and that's because there's so many buildings in close proximity to this fire and a lot of power lines nearby. And really, these embers were just blowing all around the sky this morning.
pieces of wood, embers, sparks that were flying and dropping down a couple blocks away. And as firefighters, we're very aware that that could be a dangerous situation for us because we want to make sure that those embers don't start additional fires.
I'm surprised. One is the number of embers that are hitting the ground close by. And two, you could just standing here, you could just really feel the heat.
They certainly could feel that heat. A lot of people stopped, even driving down I-25 to come over here and see if there was any way they could help. Firefighters say they don't have a cause just yet. It's too dangerous still to get too close to the scene. They do have the area surrounding here now blocked off with crime tape to make sure nobody gets into it, but certainly they have a long investigation ahead of them. Alan?